Peace, Love, Liberty Radio version 4.1. Initializing upgrades. Accessing peace. Existing without violence, with the ability to calmly resolve conflict. Downloading love. An overwhelming, deep, positive affection towards others. Activating liberty. Living your life as you see fit without infringing on the lives of others.
Ashes to ashes, we're falling down. Slaves to the men that stole the crown. There's a warning sign, like a blazing sun. You don't want to see because you're having fun. But those who control all the information celebrate and lie to the people to keep them watching.
Hey, welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com. I do apologize for there not being a show on Friday. However, as I suspected and against my wishes, the internet at Rogers Campground was incredibly slow, which meant that had I recorded a show on Friday, it would not have been able to be uploaded. And I was able to basically figure that out when even at 11 o'clock at night, it was incredibly difficult to upload a 5 megabyte newscast. The 30-minute FPP, or not FPP, the 30-minute Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, which is the show you're listening to right now, is somewhere close to a 30 megabyte file. So if I was having trouble in the middle of the night uploading 5 megabytes, I knew I would have trouble in the middle of the afternoon uploading 30. So there was no show on Friday. Again, I was at the New Hampshire Hemp Fest and Freedom Rally, and, you know, it was a fairly interesting event. Decent-sized crowd. It was at a campground that I've frequented before, Rogers Campground. In years past, when I was at Rogers, it was for the Porcupine Freedom Festival, but I did not attend that this year. Long story that I will not get into. However, I did attend the New Hampshire Hemp Fest and Freedom Rally, and I have to say that overall it was kind of interesting. You know, there were definitely some interesting people that I did interact with, but most of the time during the day, I was at the outreach booth for the Liberty Radio Network and Shire Society and Free Keene. It was, you know, like an all-purpose Liberty outreach booth with info about Shire Society, Know Your Rights. Obviously, there was an LRN banner, and at night, I was doing Free Talk Live, doing that show live from the media room, generally with a very small crowd because people were originally being told you've got to be a VIP to watch the radio show, and then come to find out they didn't put that the show was happening on any of their schedules that they were giving to people. But, you know, overall, very interesting. Did meet some very interesting people. And I may or may not have consumed some cannabis while I was there. And actually, I'll just go ahead and tell you, yes, I did. Now, on Thursday, if you're one of my Facebook friends, and I realize not everybody that listens to this is, and I don't make posts on my profile public, but I did make a post about, have you ever been so high that you realize the past, the present, and the future are all happening simultaneously? ... That may have been me earlier today. And, well, that sort of ties into something that I want to talk about today. Not being high, but the past. And there's an article from Archetypes titled 7 Reasons Why You Should Never Try to Fix the Past. And if you've listened to this show for any length, you will know that, you know, sort of trying to fix the past is a pastime of mine. You know, I talked a while back about replaying the scenario in my head of the Libertarian Party National Convention. And if I would have done certain things at certain times, then could the Libertarian Party right now have a presidential candidate other than Gary Johnson? And, it's one of those things. I know I can't go fix the past, but, these sorts of things still sort of haunt me. So when I go through this article, I'm basically speaking to myself as much as I am to anyone else. Let me jump into it. It says the past is in the past. Yet there's always that allure of wanting to go back to make it right, to secure something that was lost, to find something that wasn't meant for us in the first place. It is such a temptation that people think when they do revisit the past, they can find peace, comfort, and happiness. While it is exciting or fun to see if we can make the past what we wished it could be, any venture at revisiting the past could hurt our self-esteem, happiness, and security. They then say, here are 5 reasons why you should never try to fix the past, despite the title of the article clearly saying 7 reasons. But whether it be 5 or whether it be 7, let's jump into those now. They begin by saying there is no forgiveness in the past. The past does not forgive you. It remembers you for who you were rather than who you can be. Yes, you think the past could raise a favorable hand at you because it recognizes and knows you, but the truth is that forgiveness only belongs to the present and the future, and the past is always unforgiving. And I would say that for some people, the present and the future seem to also be unforgiving. So where should they live? Or should there be some kind of way to where people can forgive themselves for past mistakes that they have made, that they know are mistakes and that they wish to try to undo by reliving the past? I completely understand, the past will not forgive you, but what of you forgiving you? And again, this is something that I struggle with all the time. And, well, this kind of fits in with number 2 on the list. And, well, you'll just have to wait around to find out what that is, as well as the other reasons that they have here for why you should never try to fix the past here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap, Spendabit, and Amazon at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. The Doublespeak Dictionary by Leslie Starr O'Hara satirizes the marked difference between the ideal of we the people and the reality of we the elite, while offering an insightful glimpse into the clockworks of the totalitarian mind. Ever irreverent but never irrelevant, the Doublespeak Dictionary serves as a subversive and humorous but timely reminder that the emperor has no clothes. The Doublespeak Dictionary is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry, online at fppradio.com.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you now, not in the past, not in the future, but do you right now promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? If so, then you need Spendabit in your arsenal. Spendabit is the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Spend a bit. Use my affiliate link, spendabit.fppradio.com. And if you're a Bitcoin-accepting merchant, like I am, ask about their merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spend a bit. spendabit.fppradio.com. That's spendabit.fppradio.com. We're talking about living in the past and, well, why you should not do it. The first thing here on the list is they say there is no forgiveness in the past. Second, you become a victim of fear. They say there are only two emotions, love and fear. Going or trying to revisit the past only makes you a victim of fear rather than a master of courage. To be in the present or in the future is that you have learned to love what you have and reject those things you cannot replace. Rather than being a victim of fear and revisiting the past, let's go and face the future with courage. Or actually, they say, let go and face the future with courage. It means you have not learned anything. That is, trying to fix the past. Yes, the past is good for knowledge, but the future is important for practicing what you have learned. The past is where we can gain a lesson or two from, however... Wait, hold on. This sentence makes absolutely no sense here. They say, the past is where we can gain a lesson or two from. However, when we revisit or go back to the past, it means we have not learned anything and have not shown the desire for growth and evolving to the person we are meant to be. Now, I think they've got an extra word in that first sentence, the first section there. The from definitely does not fit, but otherwise the sentence does kind of make sense. Yes, you can learn a lesson or two from the past, but when you try to revisit the past, it means that you have not necessarily learned what you were supposed to and have not shown the desire for growth and evolving to the person you are meant to be. And this fits in with the next item on their list for why you should not try to revisit the past. And it's actually one of the reasons, or the complete opposite reason of why I do try to go, sort of fix the past in my mind of, well, if I would have done this, then this would have turned out better, and then maybe this other thing would happen, and this and that, and maybe I would have better self-esteem. They say when you go into the past, you hurt your self-esteem. The past shows or reflects your vulnerability rather than strengthening your resolve or beautifying your abilities. It exposes your weakness and disability, and while this may have its pros, it comes with its cons, and yes, your self-esteem could be hurt in the process. Next, they say it makes you a prisoner. It's one thing to be a victim. It's another to be a prisoner. There's nothing like embracing freedom and striding ahead in truth and acceptance. Many refuse this notion but prefer to be prisoners and be consumed by what-ifs and what could-have-beens. Most times, our curious minds want to investigate outcomes and possibilities. It would have been great if we looked ahead at these possibilities rather than going to the past to search for them. The thing about this adventure is that it makes you a prisoner and rids you of freedom. And again, as I'm reading this article to you, I am talking to myself just as much, if not more, because this is something that I do. And I'm not, when I talk about, I'm not, bragging, oh yeah, I like to replay scenarios in my mind. I'm sure a lot of people think, well, wow, that makes you a crazy person. And maybe it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm not, again, I'm not bragging about, trying to relive all these scenarios to make them right, because on the one hand, I know I can't, but at the same time, I am just hoping, maybe there's this little shred of hope that maybe if I replay the scenario the right way in my mind, that everything will then work out, that I will get closure of, I did the best I could, and I just have to accept it. But I think that's part of the problem with being not necessarily a perfectionist, but there are times when I can be. But it's, that thing of this wasn't right, I have to make it right, but I can't make it right, and I have to try to accept that, and it's very, very difficult. Next on the list, there are two more that they have here of reasons you should not ever try going into the past to fix things. It betrays reality. It betrays facts and reality. Sometimes going to the past can be illusory. It's more like chasing a wild proposition because we feel unsatisfied of where we are. There is no reality in the past because the past is gone and cannot be retrieved. Now, before I go to the next item on the list, I had mentioned earlier in the show about on Thursday, I had this realization that the past, the present, and the future were all happening simultaneously. And the sort of realization was one of those things to where, have you ever seen the movie Interstellar? And I can tell you this without really giving away any of the movie, but anyway, spoiler warning. There's a part of the movie where the main character is stuck inside of this black hole sort of thing, and he's trying to send a message to himself and his daughter while he is stuck there. So the past, the present, and the future are all happening at the same time. I'll continue this thought here in a moment on Peace, Love, and Liberty Radio.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic. Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com.
Hi, this is Davi Barker from ShinyBadges.com, and you're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry.
So in Interstellar, and again, I'm not giving away anything that's, crucial to the movie, but if you hear this, you might be like, oh, that's the thing. There's a part of the movie where the main male character, I believe it's Matthew McConaughey, is stuck inside of this, I think it's called a tesseract or something. It's this, thing that doesn't exist in our current reality, but it's like a fourth dimension, fifth dimension sort of thing, and it's inside of this black hole, and he's, trying to send messages to himself when he was younger, to his daughter when she was a lot younger, to his daughter now, and to his daughter, probably some point in the near future. But it was this sort of thing to where he realized from inside the black hole, the past, the present, and the future were all happening simultaneously. And what was happening in my brain was I was having this, or I wasn't necessarily having a conversation. I was present while the conversation was happening, physically present, not necessarily mentally. And it was a very disjointed conversation that was jumping around from, topic to topic to topic. And while I was, following the person that was standing there with my eyes, I wasn't necessarily hearing everything or comprehending everything that was being said. And every now and then something would be said, and I would be like, oh, yes, those words are just, there. And then a couple minutes later, or maybe a few seconds later, I would have this thought of, this other part of the conversation, and it was just a really weird, sort of disorienting experience. And yeah, I really don't know how else to describe it other than it was weird, it was disorienting, and it, momentarily allowed me to realize that the past, the present, and the future are all happening simultaneously. And when I posted that on Facebook, one of my friends posted a video to where some scientist somehow came up with the same conclusion and is able to show this with science. I'll try to find the link to that video and include it in the show notes here so that you can watch that as well. So let me recap here the reasons you should never try to fix the past. There's no forgiveness in the past. You become a victim of fear. It means you've not learned anything. You could hurt your self-esteem. It makes you a prisoner. It, being trying to relive the past, betrays reality, and it exhausts our time. Time is not what we have in abundance. Life is short and time is limited. Maximizing and trying to make the most of it would be great. However, we tend to exhaust the time we have trying to catch up on the past. Sometimes it's better to face what is rather than what was. Doing this action establishes consistency, improves progress. It shows that we want to be solid and authentic about our personalities and our prospects. So now let me jump into a different article that, on the one hand, you might think, wow, this is totally unrelated. But at the same time, you may recall I said that I have this bad habit of trying to fix the past. Well, this article should help, sort of cure my bad habit, if you will. Title of the article is 4 Effective Ways to Break Any Bad Habit. It hurts to be a victim of any bad habit. Bad habits could keep you in a prison and prevent you from accomplishing your goals. Rather than let these bad habits strain you mentally and physically, it's always better to find a way to break them. And here are 4 ways. Change your environment. For example, if you're one who loves watching TV and it's becoming a bad habit, you may need to hide the TV or the remote in a closet or in a different room. Stay in an environment where the TV does not become a distraction or pull you towards it. Same applies if you smoke. When you drink, then you need to stop going to the bar or hanging out in places that will pull you into such unhealthy habits. Have a substitute habit. For every bad habit, there is a good habit that can act as a substitute. For example, if you're a smoker, when you have the urge to smoke, why don't you think of performing a breathing exercise instead? There should always be a planned substitute for your bad habit with a good one. Fighting a bad habit means you are willing and can replace such a habit with another that can act as a deterrent for falling back to an old unhealthy habit. So what would be the opposite and a healthy thing to do instead of trying to fix past mistakes? And that's not me, pontificating, because I honestly don't know. That's me asking you a question. So you can send a response, if you have one, to mistakes@fppradio.com. Next on the list of 4 effective ways to break any bad habit, surround yourself with the right people. Surrounding yourself with persons who desire to succeed at breaking the bad habit puts you in a pole position to succeed at breaking a bad habit as well. There are certain journeys you cannot go alone, and one of them is breaking a bad habit. Pairing up with someone who wants to quit a bad habit would make you show more accountability and desire. We all have expectations. That is, high expectations for ourselves, but high expectations from someone else who wants you to become a better person can be a powerful motivator. And finally, take it in small steps. It takes effort and time to conquer a bad habit and replace it with a healthy one, but go slowly. I'll be right back. This is Peace, Love, and Liberty Radio.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and Numery supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $3 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Hey, welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. You heard me talk earlier in the show about Bitcoin, specifically about Spend-A-Bit, the place, the online search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin, where they have millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. But what if you don't have any Bitcoin yet? Where can you get some? Well, I'll tell you a place, and yes, I realize that not everybody is happy with this company because, on the one hand, yes, Bitcoin is supposed to be anonymous or pseudo-anonymous, and once you give up your identity, that kind of defeats the purpose. But if you're just looking for a place where you can buy Bitcoin easily and with a very low fee, I cannot recommend Coinbase enough. Just head over to coinbase.fppradio.com. You sign up using that link. After you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, Coinbase will send me a small commission as a thank you. So if you want to help the show, I know I talk about the Fans program every so often. You can donate directly to the Fans program at fans.fppradio.com. But what about supporting the show, doing things that you're going to do anyway? And you probably want to get set up with a Bitcoin wallet. And, well, there's a lot of them you can choose from. Go to bitcoin.com. and read about the different wallets. But if you just want to easily be able to buy or sell Bitcoin with very low fees, and I'm talking 1% fees. Doesn't matter how much or how little you buy, it's 1% fee through Coinbase. So head over now to coinbase.fppradio.com. And there was actually somebody that did that not too long ago. And that's actually what reminded me to, hey, Darryl, you might want to make sure that you promote this, because someone, DM, that's all I know is the person's initials are DM, went to coinbase.fppradio.com not too long ago, bought $100 worth of Bitcoin, and Coinbase sent me $10 as a thank you. So, again, if you want to help the show indirectly by doing something you're already going to do, head over to coinbase.fppradio.com. Well, that about wraps it up for the show today. And remember, barring unforeseen circumstances happening, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And every Wednesday, I answer your questions. Send those over, ama@fppradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copy Heart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News, and also get a copy of the monthly newspaper FPP News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.